Hi, this is Elias Barbosa from Awesome Rig. I'm here to explain how to upgrade your SONY VAIO laptop, but the information contained in this video can be useful for people upgrading any laptop. I hope you enjoy. Let's get on with it. In order to upgrade the laptop, we will need to go over 3 steps. The first will be how to buy the hardware that we are going to install on the laptop. The second is kind of a preparation. We will need to clone your current hard drive into the new hard drive, so when you swap them, you will have an operating system up and running. And finally, we will go over how to install the new hardware. We will begin by buying the memory and the solid-state hard drive. First, you open your browser and go to a website called Crucial. This website is very good. Well, I just wanted to say that I don't work for Crucial and they are not paying me anything. It's just that I really like this website for buying memory. I have a lot of experience with computer hardware, and one of the most painful things about upgrading computers is buying memory. Memory is a very complicated subject, and this website takes the guesswork out of this process. You go there, you select your computer model, or if you have built your computer, you can select your motherboard, and the website will tell you what memory will work with your computer. And I just selected this model number here, but it is not exactly the model number that is on my laptop. So let me just Google around to make sure that what I selected is the right computer. The one that I have is VPCE B33FM, and that option was not available there. So let me just Google about it and go to the Sony website. And here it is. This model is also known as, and there are 4 different model numbers for the same computer. And even though I could not find my original model number, this model number option was there, and that's the one that I selected. But there is a simpler way of figuring out what is the right memory for your computer, which is using their own proprietary tool called Crucial Scan. You just download the tool, which is pretty small, and you run it, and the tool will scan your computer and find out what model your computer has and figure out how much memory you have, how much more memory you can put inside of your computer, and even give you suggestions for hard drives that are comparable with your computer. So you go there and you click on Add to Cart. Now click on Keep Shopping. And I'm going over the shopping cart on Crucial because you need to go through the steps that I'm showing you. Otherwise, it won't work. If you start using the back arrow on your browser, the shopping cart's not going to work as expected. You have to click on Continue Shopping and then go back like this. And then click on Checkout Now. Now you will see both items on your shopping cart. And you go over the checkout process like any other shopping cart. So now the last thing that you need to purchase is the external enclosure. And you need to open a browser and go to, for example, Amazon. You can go anywhere and buy an enclosure, but the one that you will see on this video, I purchased on Amazon. It's really inexpensive. When I purchased mine, I paid $10. Now it's a little more expensive, it's $13, but still, it's a great deal. It's a USB 3 external enclosure, and I have no complaints about it. Well, Now you will have to wait until the hardware arrives in your home. So once you have the parts at home, then you will be able to go through the second step of this process, which will be to clone your current computer hard drive. So here's the enclosure, and here's the crucial hard drive. I bought one that was 250 gigabytes, and you push it into its slot this way. Now open the lid on the back of the enclosure, and there you will see 4 holes for screws, and the enclosure comes with the screws, so you just need to go and screw the hard drive firmly into the enclosure. 4 screws. Now you put the lid back, and now you go and get the other one. Now you put the 4 screws on the side of the external enclosure, and then you plug the USB 3 cable on the back of the enclosure. You can buy an external power supply, but it doesn't need it. You will use the power from your USB connector. And the next step will be to download a free software that will allow you to clone your C drive. You go open a browser and type backup-utility.com. And here's the website. You click on download freeware. You don't need to buy the full version. It's a good software, but just to clone your hard drive, you don't need it. Now that the file has downloaded, open the folder where the file was downloaded and click here and run as administrator. Say yes and OK. And now let's close the Windows Explorer and the browser, and now click on install now. The process is much slower. I just speed it up on this video to save time, and at the end of the installation it will open browser. Just close it. And now we go to the third phase of cloning your hard drive, which will be to actually using the software. You go click on clone and disk clone, and then on the source disk you select your C drive, the whole drive including the system hidden partition and the C drive. Then click on next, and now for the destination disk you will select your USB 3 external enclosure that will be plugged into your computer, and you click on next. And here, since we are cloning your current hard drive, which should be a mechanical hard drive, into your new solid state hard drive, you should check mark this option here. Align partition to optimize for SSD. And this process is also going to take a long time. I just speeded it up on this video to save time. Now close this prompt and click on finish. Okay. Now you will need to shut down Windows. And we are going to the third phase, which will be to install the actual hardware into your laptop. We will begin by installing the memory. But before doing anything, we will need to remove the battery from your laptop. Before doing any hardware change, you should always do this. And the window for the memory is here on my laptop. And it should be a little window accessible on any other model of laptop. And here you just remove this lever on the left side and also on the right side. And lift up the memory, pull it out, and off you go. You have to do this for the second memory card. just remove the lever from each side and pull out the memory. I removed 2 cards from my laptop, so my computer had 4 gigabytes of memory. Now I open up the crucial memory that arrived in the mail, and the one that I bought is a 4 gigabytes DDR3 memory. And so I'm actually doubling the amount of RAM memory that my computer will have, which is a good thing. And that's the maximum that my laptop supports, 8 gigabytes of memory. Now to install the new memory, it's very simple. You just place it in its appropriate place. Remember that there is a little latch there, and the memory will only enter one way. So now you push the memory all the way into its slot, and then you press the memory down until you hear the click from the levers on both sides of the memory. Just make sure that each lever is in its proper place. And now let's go for the second memory. Remember that you first have to push the memory, maybe wiggle it until the memory is inside of the slot completely. Then you push it down until you hear the clicks from the levers. No big deal, see? Now you put the lead back and screw it back in. Pretty painless, right? Finally, we're going to install the SSD drive. Well, your SSD drive will be inside of your external enclosure. So you have to remove it from the enclosure. Now you pull the hard drive out of the slot and bend it a little bit to take it out. And here's the window on the back of the laptop where your current hard drive will be. And you'll need a flathead screwdriver to open this little window here. And to my surprise, Sony decided to save on screws. So instead of putting 4 screws, they put 2 screws here. 4 screws are really not necessary here. It's kind of funny they decided to save on screws. Now hold on this latch and pull the hard drive out of the slot. Here's the hard drive that is currently there. It is a 320 gigabytes hard drive, which is larger than the one that I'm replacing it with. But I was not really using much of the hard drive. I was using like 50 gigabytes out of the 320, so replacing it with a 250, it's not going to make much of a difference except in speed. Now that you have removed your hard drive from this casing, it's time to put your crucial hard drive. Remember, put the new hard drive with the label facing up. If you put it in the reverse way, you will still be able to screw it in, but you are not going to be able to place it inside of the computer. It's not going to fit. So just remember to screw the hard drive on this casing in the appropriate position. There are only 4 screws here. So now you put it on the laptop that way and you push it into the slot. If you put the hard drive in the proper way, it will fit perfectly. And now you replace the 2 screws. My screwdriver has a magnetic tip, so that's why it's so easy for me to keep the screw at the tip of the screwdriver. Now you put the lead back on the hard drive window and replace the 2 screws. And finally, you put the battery pack back on your laptop and lock it. Now it's time to start Windows and cross your fingers, see if everything is working. Type your password and log in. Now let's open the clone software again and see how our new hard drive was configured. As we can see here, the system partition, which is used to save the restore files, is much larger than the original, but it's still a tiny partition. It's just 600 megabytes. There's plenty of space on your main partition, and it's good that this partition is a little larger than the original, because if you ever need to restore your computer, having a larger restore partition will allow you to have more than one restore points, which is a good thing. I hope that everything works out fine on your laptop upgrade. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time.